Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yasuranandana Brajajanaranjano Yasuranandana Brajajanaranjano Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki, Jai Om Vishnuvad. Paramahamsa Puri Braj Gajaja Shodra Shri Srimad is Divine Grace Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Samveda Bhakti Vinda ki Jai. Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories. Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. You know what a low jack is?
Yeah.
What's a low jack?
When you put on the car,
Yeah, a little tracking device. So we should get low Dasas. Just put them on the devotees. So at any time, just open up your phone, you have a low Das app. Oh, he's upstairs, he's in the kitchen. He's going down Grand Avenue. So we should develop a low Das app so we know where everyone is.
you don't keep it on the ankle, you keep it on the phone. You know the phone, wherever it goes.
Yeah, so they have that. Yeah, so there. Okay. There's Janardhan. Did you see anyone else upstairs? Like Raj Mohan or Damodar Kumar Das? Okay. Okay. So, reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the 4th canto. I think it's chapter 21. It's text 23 for sure. Text 23. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Tasyametad anushtanad Yanahur Brahmavadinaha Lokasyu Kama Sandoha Yasya Tushati Dishtadrik Tasyametad anushtanad Yanyahur Brahmavadinaha Lokasyu Kama Sandoha Yasya Tushati Dishtadrik Tasyametan Anushtanad Yanahur Brahmavadinaha Lokasyu Kama Sandoha Yasya Tushati Dishtadrik. Please chant. Tasyametar anushtanad Yanahur Brahmavadinaha Lokasyu Kama Sandoha Yasya Tushtati Dishtadrik Tasyametar anushtanad Yanahur Brahmavadinaha Lokasyu Kama Sandoha Yasya Tushati Dishtadrik Tasyametar anushtanad Yanahur Brahmavadinaha lokasyu kama sandoha tasya tushati distadik tasya me tadanushthanad yanavurvamavadina lokasyu kama sandoha yasya tushati dristadrik. Synonyms: tasya, his, me, mine, tat, that, anushtanat, by executing, yan, that which, ahu, is spoken, brahmavadinaha, by the experts in Vedic knowledge, lokaha, planets, syu, become, kama sandohaha, fulfilling one's desirable objectives. Yasya, whose, tushyati, becomes satisfied. Dishtadrik, the seer of all destiny. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Prithu said, I think that upon the execution of my duties as king, I shall be able to achieve the desirable objectives described by experts in Vedic knowledge. This destination is certainly achieved by the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the seer of all destiny. Maharaj Prithu said, I think that upon the execution of my duties as a king, I shall be able to achieve the desirable objectives described by experts in Vedic knowledge. This destination is certainly achieved by the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a seer of all destiny. Purport. Maharaj Prithu got a tulsi leaf in my throat. Maybe I'm going to die. Ganges water and tulsi. That's the way to go, right? Appreciate that. What a way to go, huh? Excuse me. Maharaj Prithu gives special stress to the word Brahmavadinaha by the experts in Vedic knowledge. Brahma refers to the Vedas, which are also known as Shabda Brahma, or transcendental sound. Transcendental sound is not ordinary language, although it appears to be written in ordinary language. Evidence from the Vedic literature should be accepted as final authority. In the Vedic literature, there is much information, and of course there is information about the execution of a king's duty. A responsible king who executes his appointed duty by giving proper protection to all living entities on his planet is promoted to the heavenly planetary system. This is also dependent upon the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. It is not that if one executes his duty properly, he is automatically promoted, for promotion depends upon the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It must ultimately be concluded that one can achieve the desired result of his activities upon satisfying the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in the first canto, second chapter of the srimadbhagavatam. This is text 13. Atat bhumir dvijasheshta vana shama vibhagasaha sunishtitasya dharmasya samsadid hari tosanam bhushanam. The perfection of one's execution of his appointed duties is the ultimate satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. The word kama sandoha means achievement of the desired result. Everyone desires to achieve the ultimate goal of life, but in modern civilization, the great scientists think that man's life has no plan. This gross ignorance is very dangerous and makes civilization very risky. People do not know the laws of nature, which are the rulings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because they are atheists of the first order, they have no faith in the existence of God and His rulings, and therefore do not know how nature is working. This gross ignorance of the mass of people, including even the so-called scientists and philosophers, makes life a risky situation in which human beings do not know whether they are making progress in life. According to the srimadbhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, verse 30, they are simply progressing to the darkest region of material existence, adantagobir vishitam damishram. The Krishna conscious movement has therefore been started to give philosophers, scientists, and people in general the proper knowledge about the destiny of life. Everyone should take advantage of this movement and learn the real goal of life. Om Agyan Tirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurinminitam Dena Taismai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashani Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchika Patarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Bhavani Bho Vaishnavi Go Namo Namaha. By your blessings and good, you're hoping that I'm giving a good class. Your hopes and desires and prayers, I may be able to say something. So Maharaj Prithu said, I think that upon the execution of my duties as king, I shall be able to achieve the desirable objectives desired by experts in Vedic knowledge. This destination is certainly achieved by the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a seer of all destiny. So, Prabhupada was making the point that people really don't know what the goal of life is and how to achieve it and what's really going on. You know, how do you know, just like a simple example, Prabhupada said, did you know how someone's intelligent? Yeah, I was thinking money in their pocket. You know, especially a businessman. So how do you know someone, knows what to do? Everyone's confused, or the point I was going to make is if you're suffering, it usually means you don't know what you're doing, right? Usually it means you don't know what you're doing. If you're in difficulty, you don't know what you're doing, whether it's your health isn't good, your finances aren't good, your relations aren't good, this isn't good, that your education, something's wrong. You're doing the wrong thing. And as Jim Rohn said, the wrong thing done every day in due course of time means a spoiled life, right? Jim Rohn said, give the example of the apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor. So you're healthy every single day. Well, guess what? You're healthy. So even one little thing you may think, it's just one little thing. But you do it every single day, guess what? He said actually something like failure colossal. That's what he said. In other words, your life. So what to do and what not to do, in the Bhagavad Gita, there's that verse, those in the mode of ignorance don't know what to do and what not to do, right? The demoniac. They don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. They don't know. And they say, well, whatever you think you should do, you can do. And whatever I think I can do, I can do. And that's what it boils down to. Well, that's not very intelligent, right? How do you run a company like that? Or any organization or a family? You just do whatever you want to do, that's fine. They always give the example that there was back in the 60s, there was a whole movement, especially here in California, schools were like that. That there's no real difference between the teachers and the students. And as far as, chastising a child or correcting a child, you shouldn't do that. It may hurt their self-esteem. It was a self-esteem movement. And, the kids were just let to do what they want to do. No, they're experiments, experimental schools and so on. It was a gross failure because these kids grew up, graduated, they didn't know how to operate, they didn't know how to function in society. You get a job and the boss says, I think you should do this. He says, I don't think I should do it. Well, there's the door. Welcome to the real world. Oh, my self-esteem. You can't say someone's wrong. You can't say that. They just have a different opinion. Well, someone may be wrong. 2 + 2 equals... Well, Johnny looks at it and he says 5. That's kind of an interesting way to look at it. That's because your self-esteem was like that. So that's what it boils down to, is pride, right? Damba, very, very proud, and that whatever I think, that's fine. Who are you to tell me, Mr. Vadina, right? Right here, this Brahmavadina, Mr. Brahmavadina, who are you to tell me what's right and what's wrong? Who are you, right? So what is that bumper sticker? Challenge authority or something like that, right? Challenge authority. So, well, you're an authority, and that's your opinion, so I challenge your opinion too. So the whole thing becomes very messy. So there has to be And the point is, there are laws of nature. Who can deny that? Even our mundane fields of science are describing there's different laws in nature. It's not going on willy-nilly. Is that the right word? Where's that come from, willy-nilly? Like that. Is that someone's name? Some scientist? Willy-nilly? I don't know, like Willie Nelson, willy-nilly. It's his brother or something. But just it's not like it's very, very, very precise. And that's the way we're able to manipulate material nature and so many things. The sun rises, you can set your watch to it. In fact, that's what we do, right? It's not the sun is set to our watches. We set our watches to the sun. It's so precise. Everything's going on like that. And it extends beyond just the movement of physical elements. There's also something even greater than that, even more subtle things. So what's being described here is Maharaj Prithu as a very, very intelligent person, a great personality. We're describing that verse I had last week, the Mahatma. He's greater than the greatest graders people, because he's a great devotee of the Lord. Prabhupada says he's giving special stress to Brahmavadina, experts in Vedic knowledge. He's accepting their words. And it's not blindly, that's one point. Some people say you shouldn't blindly follow everyone. Do we agree with that? Yes. Yeah, well, when you find the right person, then you blindly follow. But as far as accepting someone, you don't blindly follow. You make a decision, yes, this person's right, they're right. They're right every single time. Whatever they say, I accept. Like that. So that's the Brahmavadina. And it's transcendental sound, it's not an ordinary language, although it appears to be written in ordinary language. It's like the books are over there. Damodar's working on the books. It's just a paper and letters, right? Just like any other book you can go to. Of course, it's a dying breed, bookstores. We've got a few left around, but you have to go on Amazon. But there's books are books, right? So many books are there. They're just pages of paper, and there's some writing on it. So what's the difference? What's the difference? Big difference here. It appears to be ordinary written language, but it's not. That is Shabda Brahma. It's transcendental sound. Describing reality. Reality way, way, way beyond our ability to speculate about. Way, way, way beyond it. Sometimes I give this a personal example. I remember many years ago sitting in Bhagavatam class next to Sariputta. Those who know Sariputta, he was one of the original scientists in our movement. He lived here in SanDiego for quite some time with the Bhaktivedanta Institute. And I don't know who's giving class, but I was sitting next to him. He had one of these legal pads, yellow legal pads. And every single page had this writing. I had no idea what it was. He was working on it. He was listening to class. He was working on some advanced mathematical, physics equations. And the whole page was like, and I looked over at that and I go, I have no idea what he's doing. But he knows exactly what he's doing. It's very, very advanced analysis of some type of level of reality. And he's working on it, which is way beyond me. Now, I looked at it and said, it's a bunch of scribble. The guy's doodling in class. Just throw him out. He's just doodling. He's not doodling at all. It's actually something very substantial. So the fact that there is information and knowledge way, 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 way beyond our ability to comprehend at this point should come as no surprise. Did anyone here ever study like quantum mechanics or advanced physics and things like that? It's not easy. So, anyways, we accept the principle there are people who know more than us. If you don't, you're in a very difficult situation in life, right? You think you know it all, right? In fact, they say that you can't learn anything if you say that. I know it already. You're not going to learn much in life. I already know it. So exactly, the Vedic literatures are explaining this material world. What the Prabhupada says, knowledge is to know. What is that? Yes, yeah, matter and spirit, and the controller of both. That's knowledge. And I mean, there's a whole chapter in Bhagavad Gita. What number is it? Nature, enjoyer, consciousness. Was it? 13, your lucky number. Actually, 13 is a good number, actually, by the way. Yes, Arjuna asks all these questions about what is material nature, this, and then very nice. What is this material nature? The soul and the witness in the heart, Paramatma. It's all described very nicely in that, succinctly in that chapter. So, understanding that, we know how to act in this world. That's the point that's being here. And King Prithu is making a very confident statement here that upon the execution of my duties as king, I shall be able to achieve the desirable objectives described by experts in Vedic knowledge. He knew it. He knew exactly where he was going. You ask the average person on the street, where do you go at the time of death? What will they say? I don't know. Is it important? I'll find out when I get there. Right? I'll find out when I get there. Yeah, that's true. You will find out when you get there, but don't you want to know? No. So, Hare Krishna. So, to know that, and the very important thing he made is that destination is achieved by the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of God, who is the seer of all destiny. That's very important. There's of course, Prabhupada quotes here the verse from the first canto about the Sam Siddhir Haritosanam. Sam Siddhir. Siddhi means perfection. Sam means complete. Complete perfection is achieved by Haritosanam, when Krishna is pleased. And what that Sam Siddhir is, that's in our line, that means going back to Godhead or being engaged in full devotional service. But there's a philosophy called Karma Mimamsa. Was it Jaimini was the sage? Jaimini was the sage who propagated Karma Mimamsa. Prabhupada refers to it here, is that you think that just by doing our duties, automatically we're due the result. One example is given is if you go to the DMV, you went to the DMV recently, right, out there in El Centro. You go to the DMV, you pass the test, you give them the money, the person behind that desk is obligated to give you your license. They can't not give you your license. It's not dependent upon whether they like you or don't like you or they're pleased with you or not. They just have to give you your license. So the Karma Mimamsa philosophers are, if you perform your pious activities, you perform all these different yajnas and everything, then automatically you will go to heaven, this will happen, that will happen. And they became very, very, there's a phase in Vedic history that they were very, very, very prominent. And they actually knew very expertly how to do everything. But that was the philosophy that ultimately even the Supreme Lord has to give you, all the devatas and the Lord have to give you the results of your activities. So you actually became more powerful than them. You could say you forced their hand. They have to. You have to give it to me. So where's the Supreme Independent Lord in this equation? It's gone. So it's actually a type of atheism. So in other words, ultimately it's Krishna's pleasure. Because Krishna set everything up, and if he wants to, he can give, and if not, not. But he's not vindictive. You know, sometimes they give examples of different demigods, especially in different cultures, like the Greek in the books in the Iliad and Odyssey. Just out of a whim, they would pick on someone or benedict someone for no good reason whatsoever, just to exercise their godlike muscles. They just do it. So that's not our understanding of Krishna. Sometimes the devatas will do that. They'll do something foolish. They'll give a blessing or benediction they shouldn't give, like that. But Krishna's not like that. And ultimately, everything is, Krishna is fully conscious, what is that? Directly and indirectly of every single thing that's going on. And everything actually exists. Why does everything exist? What's our philosophy? Why does everything, anything and everything actually exist in the material and spiritual world? For Krishna's pleasure. He is the supreme enjoyer. So it's all his. You know, just like everything you have upstairs in your room, it's there for your pleasure. Right, Janardhan? Well, you wouldn't keep it there if it wasn't, right? I don't like this anymore. You know, get rid of this, get rid of that. It's there for our pleasure. Everything we have, we've put around us for our pleasure. Now, in the material world, it doesn't work out sometimes, right? relationships or this or that, or I bought this computer and the darn thing never works, or this, so we thought it would be for our pleasure, and the point is, we're hoping to be for our pleasure. We wouldn't have it otherwise. And Krishna, as the supreme all-powerful Lord, expands himself in all these varieties of energies and material spiritual world. Every single person, every single atom is actually, he's put there for his pleasure. That's why the material world is a rough place, because that's the one place where people think just the opposite. They're out of sync with reality. They're all trying to think, oh, no, these are all for my pleasure. This is for my pleasure. This is my pleasure. So the fact that we're dependent, our happiness in life, our samsiddhir, our attaining perfection, is ultimately dependent upon the Supreme Lord, the pleasure of the Lord. That's our philosophy. And if they don't have that philosophy, that means Krishna's been taken out of the equation. So the Vaishnava philosophy is Krishna's in the equation. Krishna is the equation. Krishna is the equation and the answer to the equation. He's everything. So, in his pleasure. So without that understanding, Prabhupada refers to another verse here, this Dantagobir Vishitam Tamishram, that, Prahlad Maharaj, sitting on the lap of his father's father, said, "Hey, sonny boy, my dear son, what did you learn in school today?" And then he told him, about Hare Krishna, Krishna consciousness. He got really upset with him. And then he told his father, he said, because you have uncontrolled senses, people have uncontrolled senses, they're too addicted to the materialistic way of life, and they can never become Krishna conscious. They just can't be. Matir ne Krishna paratosato va. So whether it can never be aroused by the instructions of others, by your own efforts, or by a combination of both. You'll never become Krishna conscious. And what happens to such persons, this is this adantagobir vishitam tamishram, this puna chavita charvananam, the chewing the chewed. They just keep going over and over and over again. In this lifetime, every kind of lifetime, the same kind of program, the sense gratification program. And adantagobir means uncontrolled senses. Just drag them down to a hellish region. The material world is a hellish place for the soul. So that's what's being referred to here. Without any guidance, without this Brahmavadina, we're left to just our own-minded senses. Well, how's that working out for us? That's what we have to ask ourselves and ask everyone else. Well, how's it working out for you? Someone, you meet people, say, I do this for a living, I do that for a living. How's it working out for you? I hate my job. I hate it, or I like it, or whatever. How's it working out? How's it working out? So we've been following our mind and senses for unlimited lifetimes. How's it working out? How are we doing? Not so hot. And even if we think we're hot, time passes, and it's all taken away. It's all taken away. Like that, it's all taken away from every. So the New Bhakti Godhead has an article about that by Shaka, about how time just takes everything away. And it's interesting. She says in there that she make a little point that she's talking about walking on the beach in Juhu. I don't know who she's referring to, but she said there's 3 gentlemen she knows there. Practically speaking, the richest or one of the richest families in India. They live there on the beach. But he says when they're walking along the beach, no one knows who they are. They're just kind of walking like everyone else, and she talks to them. She knows them, I guess, through the temple, and they enjoy the beach. They enjoy the breeze from the sea and the sand and this, that, and the other thing. But they're just, she said, she noticed as they walk through, they're just like everyone else on the beach. They're under the same laws of material nature. They're getting old, and in due course of time, all their wealth will be taken from them, or they'll be taken out of the picture. They're like everyone else is suffering, even though they are extremely rich. I mean, very like billionaires or something like that, probably. They're like everyone else. They're suffering. The money can't stop it. Can you stop suffering with money completely? Eternally? No, you can't. But everyone's mad after money in this society. Like that. So anyways, these are some points brought out here. And the Prabhupada says the Krishna conscious movement has been started to give these philosophers, scientists, and people in general proper knowledge about the destiny of life. And everyone should take advantage of this movement and learn the real goal of life. And that's Prabhupada's books book distribution and preaching. Give people this information. And try it. That's all we can say. All we can do is say try it. All we can do is give people the chance. That's what devotees do. We're not going to move heaven and earth. We just say try it. Try this knowledge. Because everyone's acting on a certain body of knowledge they've collected throughout their life, whoever they consider to be an authority. They're different authorities and so on, right? This will make me happy, this will make me happy, this person said that, I read this book, I read that book, I like that. I don't read any books, I'll just figure it out whatever it is. And some people are materially very, very intelligent, and some people are very, very foolish, but from the fool to the most intelligent person, everyone has their own, what do you want to call it, toolbox of information and tricks and this and that, how they're going to be happy. But who's happy? Who's actually happy in this material world? So we can end here and open it up for any questions and comments about this verse. So glad you made it. Thought you were wrestling with vegetables back there or something.
So recently at December nights, one person said something really funny. I was saying something about, I said, have you, because one of the funny lines we use is, I point to the book with the Beatles and I say, this is, the Beatles' experiences with meditation, how it helped them get free from stress. Do you ever experience stress? And then of course I experience stress, But then every now and then you get like a puffed up person, and this one guy said, ignorance is bliss, So I was thinking, what would you say to the ignorance is bliss philosophy or idea?
Well, yeah. I mean, one thing is probably just give the person some prasadam if they're that. But one example is given of like the rabbit. He's confronted by the jackal or the lion or something, and what does he do? They say they close their eyes, like it's going to go away, the vanishing rate, but it doesn't go away. So just because you don't know, I mean, that's not very thoughtful. That's the point. That's not very thoughtful. Ignorance is bliss. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean it's going to go away, or just because we close our eyes, it's going to go away. It doesn't happen like that, I mean, the whole endeavor, human endeavor, is to come out of ignorance, even materially. That's the whole progress of life. Why do we go to school? If ignorance is bliss was our motto, then don't send your kids to school. Don't study how to, the sciences of medicine and this and that and so on. No, it's just the opposite of actually human endeavor. So that's like, it's a great soundbite for someone who doesn't really want to deal with things. Yeah. So.
Second part to that.
Ignorance is bliss.
Where wisdom is folly.
Yeah. So it's just it's a lazy man's philosophy. I don't want to bother with anything. Well, usually people like that don't get very far in life, frankly. Spiritually. Question?
Well, it's a comment. In the past, my dad wanted me to be a mogul executive, and he groomed me from when I was 9 years old. He had me in the copy room listening to board meetings. Who won the long run? Who won the short run? Who really had their agenda won today? Was just 3 questions at the end of every meeting. And he finally got me to the White Plains Hilton in New York, to this mixer, Theodore Gordon fly fisherman, and I was supposed to go out there and do what he taught me to do, and I did it. And I got to hang out with one of the top executives on the planet. The guy was the right hand to Johnson & Johnson. And we were chatting it up and everything because of something I said. It's not important, but we were in the back room, and he said something profound to me that ended my want to do it all. Because I asked him a question nobody ever asked him, because he was the elephant. He was this amazing guy. I said, well, are you really happy? And he stopped, and he put down his scotch, and a little tear came to his eye. And I was like, uh-oh. He said, well, kid, you got some nads to ask me. You've got some big ones to ask me that. Well, let me give you my estimation of happiness. And I was shocked at what he said. He said, how much When one of my 18 children or my 6 ex-wives calls me, before they ask me how much, maybe they might ask me how I am. And how much did I pay her last night, and how good of an actress was she? And I was just like, I was devastated. I was like, wow, Dad, you had me go through all this from this guy who's just absolutely miserable. He had billions and billions of dollars, and he's all alone.
Yeah.
All alone at the top.
Comment. I remember many years ago, those who are of a certain age can remember Life magazine, a big format magazine with a lot of pictures. And I remember they did a special on, I think it was the New York, New Jersey area mafia, you know, and they had pictures of them. They weren't mugshots either. They were like, you know, the best pictures they could come up with. And every one of those guys, you know, they didn't look happy. They looked angry, they looked scared, but they didn't look happy. And I you know, that I put that in kind of the drawer of, you know, I realized that there's a lesson there. You know, this life of violence, you may have money and influence, but it's just filled with all kind of trepidation and fear and anger, and it's not really where you find happiness. Yeah, paranoia. So that's, you know, that's the end point of really the materialistic way. It's like the totally demonic profile. Just let me get mine. It's the 16th chapter. And as Krishna says, they're miserable, you know, bound by millions of material desires and anxiety to the very end of life, you know. So that's where we don't want to go. Hare Krishna.
A very important lesson in this verse, I would say the most important lesson, is that our happiness in life is based upon the happiness of those who we're serving, you know, who we have relationships with. Selfish means I'm concerned, I'm in this relationship because I want to be happy. But to be a loving relationship means you're concerned about the happiness of the others. So Krishna conscious means ultimately the devotee wants to make sure Krishna's happy, but how do you know, just like Prabhupada says, how do you know Krishna's happy? There's someone, the representative of Krishna, the guru. How do you know your guru is happy? He's, you know, hundreds of miles away or thousands of miles away. How do you know your spiritual master is happy? You know, he has his representative. So the point is pleasing others, then who are you could say, are well-wishers, or authorities, or representatives of Krishna. That will actually make us happy. It's not impersonal. So it's actually all about relationships. When you get to the spiritual world, that becomes very, very manifest. You know, there's no like spacing out or being impersonal or bummed out or this or that. I don't feel like hanging out with him. I'm not going to the cowherd pastures today. I've just had it like that. I'm not going to the rasa dance. He's got millions of gopis anyways. What does he need me for? It's not like that. The devotees are just like, that's all they can think about is being with Krishna and being with the devotees, and that happiness of serving, seva. And that's really the basis of everything. So if we're not happy, it means we're probably not entering into that mood at all. We're actually concerned about ourselves more than pleasing others. And there's so many wonderful ways where you can please the Vaishnavas and please the Guru and ultimately please Krishna. And when Krishna is happy, Krishna says in so many places what's dear to him or what makes him happy. Just to capture those things, and then all of a sudden, wow, you'll be happy. You'll be happy. So that's our Vaishnava philosophy, which is different than the Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda or Yoga or anything like that. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.